So, in regard to Chance, am I crazy to think during the first 3 weeks of camp, he was in the mix, but he was third? When did the switch flip?
At times I think that Tristan was playing pretty good at that point, and Sam Neuer was kind of coming on, and I wouldn't say that he was necessarily third, but yeah, he wasn't probably taking as many with the first group at that point, and I really felt like kind of when Tristan kind of stepped back a little bit, he saw an opportunity and got some more reps and kind of ran with it, and made it a really close call going to finish the camp, and it's just been really fun to see him progress here the last couple of weeks.
Have you worked with any true dual threat quarterbacks as a coordinator?
Yeah, Cepho Lufau at University of Colorado was a dual threat. We ran him actually quite a bit, and then Montez was a solid athlete. I don't know if I could say dual threat. I hope he hears that.
How much of a fit is that in your offense to have a dual threat guy?
I just think it's always nice, and we didn't necessarily have a lot of quarterback design runs, but to be able to not have to call the perfect play all the time, sometimes where it's, man, they got you covered and he can pull it down and go get 10 or 15 yards with his feet, or extend a play. I just think that's really nice as a coordinator, to have a guy like that. And he did that a couple times on Saturday for us.
Is there not a branding with some of the JUCO guys, but kind of a type where there is maybe a little bit of a gunslinger-ish kind of mentality that some of those dudes have coming up that Chance also seems to have at certain points? Is that more indicative of guys that come up from that level, or is that more him?
I don't know. I mean, I guess a little bit. Sometimes at that level, there's more open guys, or there's a little bit more space, and those guys are used to forcing some balls and doing some things. But I don't know. Chance just has kind of always had that mentality, and we have an opportunity to throw a go route. It maybe as an alert. It's not necessarily part of the base progression, but he really has some faith in those receivers, and he'll put the ball up where some other guys may not have. And it worked out on Saturday, so it was fun to watch. But I think the receivers and the offense kind of can rally around that a little bit, that mentality that he's got.
How do you think that deep ball chemistry is developing between Chance and Trayshawn specifically? Just, it seemed like they connected on a couple, but there were a couple others where if they get that timing right, it's going to start to look real nice going forward.
Yeah, it was good to connect on that one. Trayshawn made a heck of a play. I just think that's something as an offense that we need to work on and we need to improve. I mean, it's just the accuracy QB-wise of those deep balls to where we can give them a ball to where they can run through it and go score a touchdown as opposed to just hitting a 35 or 40 yard gain. But I like the fact that he threw that in that situation. They all out zeroed him, and he stood in there and made the throw, and Trayshawn made the play, and that was a huge third down there in the fourth quarter.
I know we talked last week about just the commitment to a quarterback that you start and play going forward, and I know that was kind of the $1 million question, but what is it about him or the level he needs to play at that would give you the confidence, even with Tristan coming back, to say, he's done enough in this offense to warrant a continued commitment as the starter?
Yeah, he played really well on Saturday, and I really liked his decision making. There was you could see some growth taking place as far as first read, second read wasn't there, and he got down to his check down a couple of different times, which was really good to see. I just liked the command that he had of the offense, and he was efficient with the football, making good decisions, and we weren't taking negative plays. And against the defense like that was a big point of focus for us. So I just think consistency, and I think if he continues to play that consistent, it's going to be hard to take him out of there.
Did BJ take over as the lead running back with his performance on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of said we were going to kind of ride the hot hand, and I felt like he got going. And right now I think he's just got the most experience in the system and has been practicing well, and it was good to see him kind of break out on Saturday, and I think that'll just only help his confidence and just continue to kind of keep him rolling. But I think right now is the experience in the system, having a performance like that, I'd say he's the lead guy for sure.
What did you make of the offensive line's performance? Did they take a step up from a week ago? Or?
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, they were Hawaii was bringing pressure from everywhere. I mean, and that was a big. Like I said, that was a big point of focus for us, is to be able to handle that. And I think we only had 2 negative plays if you throw out the victories at the end. And so I thought the pass protection was pretty solid, and I thought those guys did a pretty good job in the run game. Definitely room for improvement. Definitely not perfect by any means, but I think an improvement.
I think there's only one sack, and that one I think was on chance.
Yeah, it was a coverage sack. I mean, we kind of chose to max protect up front and take a shot on a 2nd and short, and really didn't give him a check down opportunity. So they covered it up pretty good, and he just didn't really have anywhere to go with the ball. I wouldn't necessarily call that on the O-line.
Looking at Idaho, it's a big front seven. They've got a linebackers coming off a 16 tackle performance. What kind of challenges does that create?
Yeah, I think they're pretty solid up front. I mean, that's definitely the thing that kind of jumps off the film. I think good size, and we watched a handful of the games from last spring, and I think those guys are solid up front. It's going to be a challenge for our offensive line, and they did some good things. I felt like against Indiana on the film. I know the score kind of got away from a little bit, but I felt like defensively you can see those guys making some plays, and like I said, I think it'll be a challenge for our guys up front.
Quarterbacks are, I think it's maybe not fair, but they're judged by wins and losses. Chance hadn't had one until Saturday. What's your former quarterback? What's that first win do for your confidence?
It's huge, man. I just think that I just think for the team, the team kind of buying into him as a starter, and just to go out and have that kind of success and that kind of performance, I just think only really, I mean, on a kind of opening home game at Reeser, I just think that was huge for his confidence, and you could just see it on the practice field today. Him bouncing around and the way he was kind of commanding, the way guys were responding to him, just a noticeable difference from the last couple weeks.
I know that's kind of a difference when deciding quarterbacks too, is locker room command, leadership, some of the intangibles. How has that grown for him since he got the starting nod?
Yeah, it's grown for him, and it is. He's not a super vocal. I mean, you guys talk to him. He's not a super vocal guy out there, and I don't know if that comes naturally to him. But I just think it's something where he goes out and has success and starts kind of plays with a kind of a quiet confidence, and the way he kind of swagger, I guess maybe the way he kind of carries himself, and you could kind of feel it. I know on Saturday, and I just think the guys responded to that and the way he was playing, and it was just really positive, and hopefully something we could build on.
How are you feeling about the run-pass balance through 2 games and getting to where you want to be, in that area?
Yeah, in the first game I did, wasn't up to our standard running the ball, and some of that was dictated a little bit by Purdue. I mean, they were selling out to load it up and stop our run game, and we were forced to throw. And last game I felt like we were able to do both and kind of keep them off balance, mix in some play actions, run the ball, and I just that makes it fun to call right there when you're able to do both and just keep them off balance like that. So hopefully we're able to do that moving forward.
Idaho was able to play a season in the spring. I know it's kind of hard to speculate because obviously you're here and not there, but what kind of an impact do you think that might have coming off of a season where they're playing a couple of months ago as opposed to just the normal 6 month or so break?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I think for those guys it's probably great experience just getting to be, go through games and situations and all that stuff kind of recently. But I don't know. That'll be something I guess that they'll be talking about, I guess, as the season progresses, how it wears on them. But I think right now, as a coach, you kind of look through it as a positive. Like, man, these guys got to go play, and I just think the more you're playing in game situations, the more growth you're going to have.
You playing scout team quarterback this week since it's Idaho?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of look I'd give back there. Yeah, I don't think so.